Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long journey, it's been a struggle. I thought I'd put together a how did we go from 0 to 1,000 subscriber count, and I would say it's with a great amount of difficulty. It's not as easy as it looks at all, especially if, like us, you started with a certain type of channel and you've gone through maybe 3 iterations of that, not really knowing what you're doing. So our channel started off in, I think, July of 2019 with Selena, and it was originally a business stroke travel stroke makeup channel. We were inconsistently putting out videos. It wasn't really niched down, it was just kind of what she was doing. I had no intention of being on the camera at all. It was more of a hobby to see if I could get her to put out some good content and me edit it, which I think initially we both found out the editing was definitely not great. Some of the content was okay, some of it wasn't that great, but we were learning, we were on a journey. So from July 2019 we were inconsistently and also consistently putting out different types of videos. So where it was related to travel and business, Selena was away multiple times a week often, or for week-long periods. We were recording the travel of those business trips, as well as a little bit of what was going on in the city. So for as long as that lasted, it was great. She would go, record the videos, arrive back, hand me a memory card, I would upload it, work out that she had the microphone covering the lens for at least half of it, the sound not switched on for the other half. I'd be pretty upset, she would be upset herself, so that would be thrown away. We would then repeat the cycle and something else would be great, so that bit would be great, and the rest of it wouldn't work, so maybe she turned on the spot focus, so that had to go in the bin. And then we kind of got to grips with what was and wasn't working. We were both learning. She would hand the memory card over to me and I would load it up and I would put out what I thought was interesting, but what you think is interesting and what somebody else thinks is interesting are two very different things, and you're trying to appeal to a lot of people to get the subscribers in. And I was putting out way too much of the video, so it could be where you're walking between terminals, and I would have a lot of that in there. Now most people are switching off at that point, so we gradually begun to understand how to put together videos that some people are liking, even really early on. And I'll put some clips in of the stats. The videos that were specific to travel, and this was a destination to a destination, for example London to Atlanta or London to China, those were organically growing and getting views of 1,000 to 5,000 viewers. But Selena was new on camera, she was really uncomfortable with asking people to subscribe. A lot of this comes from Selena was not a YouTube viewer, let alone YouTuber, until very recently, maybe 6-7 months ago, and we're in November of 2021 now. So she had no idea what she was meant to say. She felt uncomfortable asking. She would say to me, but people will subscribe if they want to subscribe. No, you need to prompt them. So we went through this period where we were getting a lot of views and barely any subscribers. Fast forward towards the end of 2019, around 2020, there were a couple of trips where I appeared on camera. Now, I really didn't want to be on there, but I thought, oh, let me just add a little bit more life. So if we went on a trip to Thailand, as an example, I would appear on camera for a short period and then just get off. And those seemed to be okay, but again, we didn't really have the format down. We still don't, by the way. So it was a bit of a challenge for us to understand what we're supposed to record, what we're supposed to put out, how we're supposed to structure the video. The other side of this was, and I mentioned it a moment ago, the viewer retention, or time that people watch the video, was really low. It could be between 1 and 4 minutes, which tells you the editing is bad, because even a terribly shot video, if you edit it correctly and make it fun enough, people stay and watch it. So I really had to learn what to cut out and what not, and I'm still learning that now. At the end of 2019, going into 2020, I think our subscriber count was high 300s, maybe touching 400. So this is 2020 now, so we've been doing it for 6-7 months, and our subscriber count had only gone up 400. Now, that's not terrible, because there are some people that had channels for years and they haven't got a subscriber count. But if you looked at the views we were getting, especially on those travel ones, you would expect to convert those into subscribers. And we were trying to work out how we could do this. So I started putting in, please subscribe, little flashcards that would pop up, and it would work occasionally, but in general it didn't work that well. The next part of 2020, I hope everybody knows what happens there. Remember, we were a travel channel. It was sort of travel and business, and most of the business was traveling. And then what happened, and that kind of completely stagnated our channel. We happened to be in Thailand at the time, and we had just agreed a move to the US. So I had to put my big boy pants on, boots on, and decide that if we were going to take this seriously, or more seriously, I was going to need to be on camera, because I think it would lend itself well to having a couple on there so you could see more into our lifestyle. So I kind of framed it in a way that we were going to do this move to the US, and here's a plug for our Move to the US series. If you're brand new to the channel, go and watch the series of our entire journey from knowing that we were going to move all the way through getting the visa, packing up, the massive issues we had through that time period. It was fun and scary. I had quit my job assuming that I could move, and then what happened, and then I couldn't move, so I had to rejoin my job for a short period of time. Anyway, go watch the series and hopefully you'll enjoy that. And make sure you subscribe as well. So I had decided that I was going to appear on camera, but only for the fact that it was going to be a new life journey that we were going to share with people. And I felt that if we were open and honest and kind of show the trials and tribulations, that people would feel connected to it in some way. So I think we started this around March of 2021. So we had about 400 subscribers, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but unlikely. From there, as soon as we started putting out content that was about our move, how you moved to the USA, how you moved to the US without a green card, people really started to engage. And it wasn't just the subscriber count. The massive change was people were commenting. They were messaging us on Instagram, and we were having conversations with people, which was strange but amazing. So you felt like you were putting out content that had meaning and value, and I think that's what really made us start enjoying it. So rather than trying something, we felt like we were doing something this time, and we were getting tens and tens of comments. Our subscriber count wasn't going up massively because we still hadn't hit that ask people to subscribe, and actually, even though I knew it, it was more difficult to get it into the videos than you would expect. It feels uncomfortable. So my friend rang me up one day after watching one of the videos, and he just said, you need to ask people to subscribe. And we did. And guess what? People started subscribing. It was really that easy. Now, we're definitely no massive channel. I wouldn't even call this a small channel, but that alone really started to drive the interaction and the subscriptions up. And as we've begun to answer messages and people were reading those responses, they were then engaged. So I would say the turning point for us was really, we were forced into a position where we had to change the style of our videos and our content, which worked out great for everybody because we were giving something a little bit more real, or a lot more real. We were inviting people in to see our lives, and people felt connected to that. And the subscriber count went up massively. I say massively, I mean tens a month it was going up, rather than 6 months to get to 400 subs, which felt really positive for us. Now what was strange is we were getting what we would consider a lot more subscribers, a lot more comments on our videos, a lot more interaction, but our videos weren't being pushed out really. So the actual count was really low in terms of 100 views maybe on a video. Fortunately, those people that were coming were subscribing and they were watching for a lot longer. So we were going, if we put out, and this is quite rare, if we put out a 25-minute video, often people were watching 60, 70, 80% of that. So we knew we were kind of on the right path. And if we put out a 10-minute video, people watching 6-7 minutes of that. So we're around that 50 to 80% depending. Now that quickly falls off as you start getting pushed out a little bit more, because not everybody's going to find your videos interesting. However, our videos were not being pushed out. It was maybe 100 people. So what was going wrong? Is at this point I started paying more attention to people that had gone through this process before and watching a lot of YouTube videos on how do you get more people to view your videos. And you'll see it everywhere. Titles, thumbnails, SEOs. And it sounds a lot easier than it is. So I started experimenting with titles, thumbnail and SEO. And I thought I was doing an okay job. I clearly wasn't, because what happened was less people. So as YouTube was pushing out, so let's say it got pushed out to 500 people, maybe only 80 people were watching it, and a lot of it was return people that had already subscribed. So it was as if it was putting people off, and I had titles that were far too long and too descriptive. So I had to learn to shorten those. So I found it really difficult because I like to put a lot of detail in there. But I started experimenting with shorter titles on one video, longer, then maybe changing it up. And just by doing that, it started to attract and grab more people, and they were watching it. Now again, our videos still only get maybe 100 to 600 maybe views on there. I'll put something in the video so that you can see. But people were staying and watching them, and people began to subscribe. So fast forwarding a little bit now, we are in November. However, during October, while we're at F1, so that is between March of this year, 2021, and October, we had gained the additional 600 subscribers, and we finally got monetized. And there's a little trick. If you do get to the point that you are monetized, which is 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, you then have to apply to the YouTube program, partner program, and that can take weeks to months, I hear, to get verified on that. So you have to submit it. A really quick tip, and I'll do this in another video, is actually if you take a screenshot of all of the criteria that's been met and use the send feedback option within the YouTube Studio, Creator Studio, send it to them. I got monetized within, I think it was less than an hour in the end. There are a couple of good videos out that tell you exactly how to do that. So rather than waiting a few weeks, so really, between March and October, the things that we changed, it was a lot more authentic. It was letting people in, and I think people really connected with that. It was about lifestyle and how-tos. Now, our how-to is super niche, and you'll see if you're watching other videos out there, they tell you niche down, niche down, niche down. Often when I'm seeing that, they're talking about niche down into tell people how to get 1,000 subscribers, or niche down into tell people exactly how to save money. Our niche is a little bit different. It's about people leaving the UK or wanting to leave the UK and move to the US. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to do that, but how many people are really searching for that? So our niche is probably super niche within a niche. So I expect our growth to be a lot slower, and I'm comfortable with that. We've been enjoying doing the videos and enjoying letting people in, and the best part for us is the amount of people that reach out for help. And it's people from just going into university that have this dream of coming to the US, to maybe being in their 40s, 50s, 60s, saying, I wish I would have done something like this. Can we just have a chat? Or you inspire me. Or do you know what? I love the fact that I can get through a day and know that I can come home and watch a video. So in some cases, it's purely entertainment. In other cases, it's education. And in other cases, it's inspiration. So I think that really struck a chord with people, and that's what's helped us accelerate. Now, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, normally we're averaging maybe 50 to 60 per month subscriber increase, being so small. As soon as we hit 1,000, within 5 days, we gained another 30 subscribers. Now, I've looked online and people say YouTube doesn't push your videos out more. They have no reason to. Maybe that's the case, and maybe it's just the snowball effect. As you grow, you attract more, they attract more. That could be true, but it did feel rather switch on off, kind of. We hit 1,000 and then within a week we've got 30 more. Now that normally takes us 2 to 3 weeks to gain those subscribers. So what are my takeaways? My takeaways are, it can be a very long process and you can lose sight of what you're trying to do. I think if you're purely trying to make videos to gain the subscribers to make money, I think you're going to struggle. I think for us, as soon as we kind of made it a lot more natural and we're a lot more open, we gain those subscribers organically. You may come up against hurdles, like with anything in life. We came up against the hurdle of 2020, Travel Channel, traveling on planes, 2020 happens. That was it. we had to adapt and change and accept that I was going to have to be on camera, which I still don't really like. So those were the big takeaways of what you need to do to make your channel feel a little bit more organic and get that organic growth. What I would say to people is be consistent, be authentic, be open to learning and changing. Probably applies to life, or definitely does apply to life anyway. So to cap it off, what are the secrets of going from 0 to 1,000? There aren't any. Be consistent, be authentic, try and be organic, natural to you. Put out things that you enjoy, and then that way it won't feel like work. At the very beginning, I know for Celine it felt like work, it felt weird, it felt abstract. Now I know she's a lot more comfortable with doing it, just because it's a lot more us. So just for us being more comfortable, we film more, we put out more consistently, and it's kind of a cycle. The other thing is be prepared to adapt and learn as we had to. If something comes up, you may have to change direction. As long as it's still authentic to you, I think it will come across, and I think it will help you go from 0 to 1,000. Now we're still at the real infancy, I would say, even though it's been, where are we? So it's July 19 to 2021, so we are 2 years and 3 or 4 months into our journey, which is a very long time to go from 0 to 1,000. A lot of people make it a lot quicker. That wasn't our journey. So for us, we're just going to try and keep putting out content people enjoy, stuff that we enjoy. The worst case for us is we'll look back in 20 years and have an entire documented record of pre the move from the UK up until whenever we decide, if we do, to stop. So we'll have this history that's recorded and can never really be taken away. So that is the minimum that we're going to get out of it, even if we gain no more subscribers. So for us, that's actually enough. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you comment, thumbs up, which apparently is super important. That's what gets it out to other people. So make sure you do thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.